Chairman. This has been a very good hearing, and I really appreciate all of your participation. And I agree with some of what almost all of you have said. I agree with Dr. Jane that food production in these countries and sustainability is absolutely critical. We've got to have that. But I also agree with Mr. Scheineman and our wheat grower, and probably Ms. Salem, that as much of this as we can do to promote growth in the United States of support for this program by producing it, processing it, and shipping it from the United States to handle emergency food aid is vitally important to keep the support for this program, or you're going to see more and more public support for the kind of proposals that do completely cut these programs off. So Dr. Jane, let me start with you. I am concerned about the efficiency of some of these programs that are run to encourage that production. I've been to Ethiopia as well. I've been to schools, just like the chairman has, seen children being fed very, I think, nutritious and also pretty inexpensive food that gets them to school and gets them through the day. But then as I drove there, I saw the most archaic, and this was in Ethiopia, a beautiful farmland being farmed with animals, basically. You know, I saw very little mechanized equipment. What is USAID doing, and are there other U.S. government programs, or is it primarily reliant upon USAID to get a place like that modernized and more efficient so they can take advantage of that farmland and produce for their own people?
Yeah, great question. USAID, I believe, is doing the bulk of U.S. government programs towards development assistance. And of course, you know, the fact that
How efficient are they?
Yeah.
I get the impression that a lot of money is wasted. I've been to Haiti, too, where the Congress appropriated $2 billion, not just for food aid, but for rebuilding a devastated country that was the worst in the Western Hemisphere before the earthquake, and then just totally devastated after the earthquake. Yeah. And I see a lot of waste. What's going on?
Well, certainly, almost all of these programs could be made more efficient. That's true. One example I can give you right off is that our capacity building programs, which are designed to train the next generation of scientists locally and extension workers and farmers locally, that can be done much more efficiently.
Are we paying Americans to go over and do this like the Chinese are doing? Are we bringing people from these countries to the U.S. like the Chinese?
We're mostly bringing them to the U.S., and it costs $65,000 a year to bring someone overseas into a land-grant U.S. System for training, $65,000 per year.
Why?
It costs about $7,000 per year to train someone locally, and we're starting.
But is it a U.S. person going over there to train them? Because
yes.
I want the U.S. to get credit for this.
Of course, yes, and we're needing to innovate, and we're seeing ways in which we need to partner more with universities overseas, develop kind of strategic partnerships. I want to
ask Ms. Salem a question or two as well. I just really impressed. I'd never heard of this before. I think it's phenomenal. I'm really impressed, and I'm interested in knowing what you think about what overall percentage of U.S. food aid should be fortified, nutrient-dense products like those produced by Adizia.
Yeah, it's a good question. Our product is not a silver bullet for hunger. We're really focused on very specific cases of malnutrition, specifically moderate and severe.
Immediate, get it there quickly, can be pre-positioned.
But also for the right people. So you want the bulk grains to be used for adults and people who don't fall into the most vulnerable categories. We want to save this just for those that are really at the brink of death, who are in clinics, who need, it's like a food by prescription. So think of it as a medical food versus grains. So that's really what we need to be using these for, not for the masses.
Let me ask, Ms. How do you pronounce your name, sir?
Supus.
It's like it looks.
In Tanzania, the wheat that we sent over there to that flour mill, it's a very large flour mill, is of course fortified, and they told us that they were selling this to the underprivileged at a cheaper rate.
You're happy to sell it over there. You're happy to sell it to the U.S. government to distribute over there, and you're also happy to sell it to Ms. Salem, right?
Absolutely. She could make crackers and put this peanut butter in between.
Right.
It would be phenomenal. Yeah.
All right.
So many
question-
new ideas.
Right. My time has expired. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman of the Nutrition Subcommittee, G.T. Thompson.
Chairman, thank you. Thank you for all the members of the panel. Very